Alrighty, this is Jerry Diamond with How to Get Out of Babylon, and I'm going to be looking at the mass arrests, QAnon, Donald Trump, and the setting of that whole thing from a bit of a bigger picture, shall we say. Kind of a strategic look, not claiming anything. I'm just wanting to deal with it from some aspects that most people probably wouldn't be looking at it, and most people are not looking at it. I mean, you've got a lot of people on board with this whole thing, and I've heard it for years, Nasara, the white hats, they're going to come in, the guys with white hats, white horses, the Gene Autry's, riding trigger, wasn't it? Yeah. The good guys, the guys in the white hats are going to come in and save us all. So, and of course that can be pitched again with the bad aliens, the good aliens, they're coming to save us. They're coming to save us all. So, just a quick, something I pulled up here, don't remember where. Anyway, Donald, English, Scottish, Gaelic, Domhnall, bottom there, circled world ruler. Interesting. On the top right there, 10 times the Simpsons predicted the future. Illuminati, and what I'm going into here is the Illuminati card game, and there's a reason for that. Of course, I think most of you are familiar with. I'm not trying to, preach to the choir, because I'm not going to belabor the issue. But you can look at a lot of videos on Trump's the Illuminati card game, and Trump's assassination predicted. This is a Firu bit there, 464 subscribers. Shout out to them. Decent video. That was published September 19th, 2018. So the enough is enough phraseology, Trump has said, part of being a winner is knowing when enough is enough. Know when to hold them, know when to fold them, know when to walk away, know when to run. Okay, so this is the Illuminati card there. Oddly enough, it kind of looks like Donald Trump, and his mouth is screaming open. Raised eyebrow there. At any time, at any place, our snipers can drop you. Have a nice day. Enough is enough. So, and this is from a speech where he says enough is enough. It needs to be stopped. It needs to be done. Enough is enough. And the card is just rising there. And I try to give screenshots of whatever channel it was, and I didn't get that on that one. There's an old movie about a con man named Trump comes into a town, convinces people that I don't know, think an asteroid's going to hit him or something. Convinces people only he can save them by building a wall. He can save the world by building a wall. He's then assassinated. So, the judgment card here, and I don't know, this is from Gons. Yeah. Face Like the Sun YouTube channel, shout out to him. He's looking at these things from a biblical and a Christian perspective. I'm sure he's not, right down the line what most people would consider a normal Christian, but then who is? I certainly am not. So, but anyway, that's where that take was from, this picture of the card. And I don't know what that was. Some streaming deal. I don't remember. So here's where we're going with it. King James Bible, Revelation 13:3. And I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed, and all the world wondered after the beast. Odd. This is hypertexts.com. Donald Trump, Antichrist. 666. Key that in. There's the link if you can see that. Write it, just use it. I'll try to put it in, but I probably won't get to it, so sorry about that. Somebody else put it in for me. I try. I'm lucky to get these done. Okay, so is Donald Trump the long prophesied beast of Revelation, who's number 666? The Bible says the Antichrist will be a charismatic celebrity, a big talker, smooth talker. He will convince the global masses that he is the answer to every problem. He will claim to be a deal maker and master negotiator. But in reality, he will be the father of lies in the flesh. He will claim to create peace in the Middle East while secretly plotting to betray and destroy Israel. No comment. He will be an intimidator and militant lover of power. He will exalt and magnify himself, claiming to be the only savior. He will even deceive the very elect. His arrival on earth will be announced by a blood moon and the sounding of the trump of doom. Sound familiar? Trump is sounding doom, and he was born on a blood moon. A trump is a little horn. And in the first reference to the Antichrist in the Bible, the prophet Daniel called the greatest human enemy of God a little horn. Number 666 is the major sign of the Antichrist. So, and I'm not going to belabor this at all. This is a very long page. If you want to read it, have at it. Pictures like this, Trump Towers, 666. I think most people know that. Jared Kushner. Cush was the man who established Babylon. Total lunar eclipse day he was born. I mean, they come up with all kinds of 666s in here. Budding fig tree is the sign of the end of times. Interpreted as a rebirth of Israel as a nation, Trump was born in 1946, the year the U.S. reversed its position on the establishment of a Jewish state in Israel. On the very day that Trump was born, the Jewish Haganah blew up 11 bridges, some of the greatest terrorists in the world, that had connected the soon-to-be state of Israel to unfriendly neighboring states, signaling to the British government that further delays in Jewish immigration were not acceptable. Many Jewish immigrants were fleeing the horrors of the Holocaust as World War II had recently ended. The act of defiance, called the Night of the Bridges and Operation Marcolet, may be considered the actual beginning of the Jewish state of Israel and its first united military offensive. Terrorism blowing up bridges. The Palmach Information Center calls Operation Marcolet the largest and most comprehensive of all the Jewish resistance movement operations. It was successful because within a few months the British government announced that it would remove all its troops from the region. It was the removal of British troops from Palestine that more than anything allowed Israel to become a reality, but Trump's relationship to Israel is extremely doubtful. Okay, whatever on that. So anyway, this, like I said, this is a very long page. You can go here and look it over. Master, domination. This is an interesting one. Think of a powerful mafia don. Our word don derives from the Latin dono, lord, and Latin dominus, master, domination. The name Trump means to upstage, to outrank, to triumph. It also has connotations of trickery as trumped up charges. Trump's middle name is John, which means God is gracious. Thus, an interpretation of Trump's full name is a proud world ruler who, after God has been gracious, will attempt to upstage and outrank Christ using trickery. Interesting. References again to Little Horn and Trump of Doom. The movie, many disturbing parallels between Donald Trump and Damien Thorne of The Omen. DT initials 6 letters in each name. Damien and Donald mean one who rules and subdues, both fabulously rich via inheritances, both entitled pricks, both depraved, both liars, speaking great things and blasphemies, both attending military academies, both with vast international business enterprises, both thriving on the misfortune of others, both rising to political power by deceiving the masses, both buying real estate all over the globe, both ignoring conflicts of interest once in power, both operating their construction companies while in the White House, both lacking human compassion and morality, both lacking any regard for God, and of course their many connections to the number 666. So, martial law after Christmas, 2 huge prison barges headed to Gitmo, Patriot Hour, that was in there, sorry, not really part of it. And so here's where the next thing I want you to look at is this channel and this video and other videos by this man, The Controversy 7. The title of this video is "A Solemn Warning is Being Pronounced. Many won't be prepared for what's coming. Wake up." Okay. Many will not be, in the thumbnail there, many will not be prepared for what's about to happen. I will tell you that. Etc. Okay. And the reason I wanted to look at this is because of, there's some video footage here. Trump at the White House. And, oh boy, how did this get in here? I don't know. Okay. Let's say that was out of place. I'm just going to go on with this. I just want to cover this real quick. One of the people on board with the white hat thing, Stan Johnson, Prophecy Club, Visions, and all these different things. But he does have some good stuff on the QAnon. You know, I covered that before, so I'm just going to kind of skate through this and then get back to the Controversy 7 thing. He says, I was right, December 5th was the arrest date. You know, moved to the 17th. Well, I think we might have missed that date. Now we're back to the Controversy 7. Okay. I thought I went through this. I may just quit and start over. Maybe I'll just do part 2. Oh. All right. Walmart. Let's just do controversy. This is one of his videos. Walmart. You know, Mart, wall, put the words backwards and then reverse wall and law, and you wall into law, and you got Walmart, martial law. Okay. Now let's see if we're back on time. Okay, now we're back on schedule here. Controversy 7, and this is a video that's from the end of the thing. What a flippin' mess. My voice is going too. All right. For crying out loud. All right. Here we go. All right. Video from the White House. Now he says, notice the men standing behind Trump. And I look at the men in suits and blue ties. Trump blue tie, blue tie, blue tie, blue tie. There's another blue tie. No, that's not who you need to be looking at. Look at the man standing at his right hand, almost touching him, with a big, big, big fat cross. Okay. And then it backs out. There's another medallion on a chain. And there's another guy back there. Okay, so these guys are Jesuits. And Pence is Roman Catholic and Jesuit. Trump claims to be a Christian, but you know he doesn't ask God forgiveness, and there's all the different things. Obviously, he's not a person of high moral character. Very proud, basically worships money. You know, immoral. So. And he also apparently, allegedly, was you know trained at Jesuit University. So what do we have here? We have a Jesuit. I think most people know that Jesuits are Catholic, and that the Pope is the guy pulling the strings. And so, who is Q? And who is running the show? And the book of Revelation speaks of somebody getting their head wounded, and the cards say we can take you out at any time. A little weird. Okay, Kane and Pence, two vice presidents, two Catholic-inspired visions with little else in common, one conservative, one liberal. You know, there's the guy circled. Now the guy in back, kind of young guy, I don't see a medallion or chain around his neck. Maybe he's the junior, and then you got the Mr. Smiley there in the middle. The guy on the left there, he's probably the one heading up the show. Maybe he's Q. One guy said, Stan Johnson said, somebody said, I believe that Q could put his hand on the president's desk at any time. He would qualify, would he not? Yeah. Part of being winners known to win enough knows. Man, Fiddlesticks, Millie. Fiddly-dee. Okay, here we go. Jimmy Kimmel. Boom. Okay. There's a Trump hung in effigy, and then boom, his head blown off. At any time, any place, our snipers can drop you. Have a nice day. So, you know, just to point out that there's some odd, you know, similarities here to the different scenarios, and the fact that the Trump and his name, the numbers, you know, I'm just kind of drawing a link here between that and the Revelation about the head being wounded, the little thorn, the little Trump, you know, having his head wounded. So, alrighty. Now, then where I want to go with that is what is really happening. Okay. So, we got the white hats, we got the bad guys. Now, what are the 60,000 mass arrests for? Really, really bad people. Okay, are they not? Yeah, people that eat children, pedovores, people that traffic in human slaves worldwide. They are evil, no question. So we got these people in white hats coming in, and they're going to solve the problem by 60,000 mass arrests. And this is a good thing, and it requires martial law. So just have your food on hand, be happy, stay home, observe curfew, obey, don't question authority, and have your food, water, and supplies, medical stuff, dog food, pet food, cat food, whatever on hand. And don't bother us. We're doing a good thing for you. You're going to be safe. That's what one of the directors said, you know. Supposedly the one from the general that I read the other night. We don't care what you are. We don't care if you hate Trump. You know, Trump is going to protect you. Trump is going to protect you. Okay, so what do we have there? We've got a problem. White hats coming in to save us. And how do you put that in other words? Describe it, you know. It's called the Hegelian Dialectic. You have a thesis, you have an antithesis, and then you have a synthesis. Okay, you have a pro, you have a con, and we come up with a solution that helps, you know, that brings about peace. That's a compromise. You bring about a compromise, okay? Here we see the dialectical thought process over the didactic thinking process. In the past, America and the West was held to the didactic thinking process in which 2 + 2 = 4 and cannot be otherwise. There was right, wrong, light, dark, true, false. This was the way we ran government, education, and especially the church. This is God's way. This is shown by the commands, thou shalt not. Hegel's radical young followers considered Hegel's argument a critical and important tool to ruthlessly criticize Christianity and religion in general. The dialectic is analogous to the argument that everything is just shades of gray. Hegel's dialectical process proposes there are only shades of gray, that there are no black and white. There is no black and white. Okay. Then you have a spiraling effect of it. You know, you have a thesis, you have an antithesis, you have synthesis, and you come back around, and you start it again with a thesis, antithesis and synthesis, and you just keep attacking, the society as a whole from different viewpoints, okay, from different deals. So this is done incrementally, okay. This is interesting. The interesting and powerful feature of the Hegelian dialectic is once the circular argument has reached synthesis, a new thesis can be created and the process begins anew, incrementally, progressively, moving forward toward the next predetermined outcome, a sort of dialectic helix. Okay? So, simple way to put it is you have a problem, you have a reaction, you have a solution. Okay? That's like Hegelian Dialectic for Dummies. Well, that's probably the website this is. Hegelian Dialectic for Dummies. I should have had that on there. Okay, that was the last slide. So, and I started off, just looking at this stuff and going like, well, you've got all this in international intrigue. You have crosses, you have double crosses, triple cross. You don't ever know. A common person, and even if you're high in intelligence, you've got a top clearance, top security, above top secret, you still don't know if you're being told the truth. You've seen that in movies repeatedly. Special forces team is told to go out and do this. They're just the decoy for the other operation, or somebody sent out as dog meat sacrificial lambs for them. It's just, you never know what's happening. And so the whole white hat thing, I would say let's seriously look at that and reserve judgment on it, question it. So I'm hoping that this has helped a little bit. I apologize for the mess, but I am not going to have a chance to do anything different probably for a day or two. So going to be a busy day. My whole day was shot today, and tomorrow will probably be equally used up with getting things done around here that need to get done, like getting firewood done for the winter. So, with that in mind, I'm just going to sign off here because I'm pretty beat. I didn't cough as much, so whoever whined or complained about me, clear your throat before you start. Well, hey, sorry when you about choked to death during the night. It's kind of hard. My throat's been really raspy. Nor have I felt very well at all. So anyway, all right, be aware of that and give some thought to it. And I heads up to one of my subscribers wrote in about the Hegelian dialectic, and I'm sorry I don't remember the name, but yeah, shout out to him in one of I think in that video. He talked about Hegelian dialectic, and I was like, hey, wait a minute here, So, good job, heads up. That was cool. Good timing. I said, yeah, you stole my thunder. He was just asking questions. But yeah, I would definitely ask the question, the white hat guy, the whole concept of white hats, I always thought it was fishy, and yeah, they're going to come in and save us from what? From the evil. Yes, there is evil. But does that mean that the solution, the synthesis, is all white hat stuff? Is that the pro? So, they're good guys. They're good guys on white horses. They're wearing white hats, and they got gleaming revolvers and stuff, pearl handle revolvers. But it doesn't necessarily mean that this synthesis is going to be good. It doesn't necessarily mean that martial law is a good thing. And look at how many people, Christians, and granted, okay, a lot of the, watch my language here, evangelical preachers such as Kenneth Copeland, he's all on board with the whole thing. And it's a synthesis of religion too. Realize that. You've got Trump being the evangelical, the Protestant, and Pence being the Catholic, and who's standing at Trump's right hand, for crying out loud, the Jesuit. So, yeah. So anyway, be aware of it. This may in the short run be a good thing. I mean, it'd be wonderful to see a lot of pedivores eliminated from existence, no question. Diego Garcia, Gitmo, you know. But is it ever going to go away? One of the questions on in one of the videos in the comments was, how long is this going to last? Well, hey, get real. Read a little bit of history, I wrote a poem back in 2000, and I said, the war we fought for freedom 200 years ago dragged on for 8 long, dark years. Hunger pangs did many know. You'd better have the ability to grow food. There is no possible way anybody, well, one guy said he had 20 years of food, okay. Kudos to you. Are you going to share the food? So, if we're all in it to save our own hide, nobody is going to make it. That has been my point for many years. We have to pull together. We have to hang together, or we will most assuredly hang separately. And the other fact that I've seen this for many, many years, that there is going to be somewhere in this earth where liberty is able to survive. And that requires, if you read any history at all, if you read any, books about anything in the world, just about history, okay, you gotta have the ability to withstand for a long period of time and be able to feed people and shelter people and heal people and have all of your services intact. You have to deal with sanitation, or you're going to be overrun with cholera, dysentery, malaria. You'll be overrun with pests, with rats the size of dogs, and dogs the size of, wolves. So, anyway, point being is you need to have a certain amount of survivability in any civilization. It's about generally, historically, 20-25% of the population. Some percentage of the population has to be intact in order for that civilization to survive. An onslaught. We are facing an onslaught of never before seen proportions. So that's my take on it. I know it may be extreme. It may be a ways down the road, and then again, it may not. So, but that's what I see. Now, providentially, exactly in the center of this country, I'll just say it again for new listeners and new subscribers, in the middle of this country, 500 miles from Canada, 500 miles from Mexico, 500 miles from the Rocky Mountains, which may be the West Coast at some point, and 500 miles from the Appalachians, which with rising ocean levels, the Appalachians may be the East Coast for all practical purposes. Look at the Stan Deyo, Edgar Casey, Lori Toy, Running Deer, Chet Snow, and any number of other future maps of America, and you'll see there's big chunks, the U.S. Navy map for crying out loud, big chunks of the western U.S. not there, and ocean levels risen somewhat. So anyway, right in the middle of this land that we call the United States of America is a large mountainous circular, the land mass is in the shape of a diamond, and but the riverbeds around it is a circular region, a moat. And rivers are borders, and moats are to protect the castle, and those rivers are moats, a 1,000-mile-long moat. So that's been my song for a lot of years, so I just won't belabor it anymore. So that's it. All right. This is Jerry Diamond with How to Get Out of Babylon, and I hope people listen. I know this was just disjointed and all, and so am I right now, so appreciate a lot of prayer. Life has not been easy for me, and just trying to get by, trying to stay alive long enough that hopefully my thoughts and ideas will be worth something someday. So that's pretty much all I'm trying to do. And I appreciate your prayers. And pray too for one another. I mean, pray for the people out there that would like to get here, but they won't be able to. And pray for the people that are planning on coming here. You know, that they have a safe journey. They're able to arrive with their belongings, that they can help out. Pray for the people that are here waiting, you know. Some of us have been here waiting for 10, 15 years. When are they going to show up, Father? I don't know, man. I had one group that was going to get 200 Girl Scout tents. We don't want to pig them, you know, we don't want to take them all, but if the Father gives them to us, you know, well, I know that someday somebody's going to have to live in tents. And I said, what do you mean someday? You know, they are living in tents. Who? You are. You know. Oh yeah, but I mean people that are going to have to live in tents. That was like 15 years ago. Who's living in tents? You are, Thomas. So, but yeah, a lot of people have been waiting a long time and gone through a lot of trials, you know. I mean, I have. And, you know, I've got some tents, and I got things to help people, and trying to help, you know, various people here and there. And sometimes it works out, and sometimes they refuse to help, you know. And part ways. But anyway, all right, just hang in there, be praying, but pray for the people. I was going to say specifically one of my subscribers, you know, kind of a shout out, and Granny Flo out there in Cape Cod, you know, hello there, and blessings on you, and pray that people will, you know, treat each other as they would want to be treated as these things begin to happen. And another gal, Brid Minden, probably won't be able to. She's a widow, and would love to be here. I said, well, things that are impossible with men are easily achievable with God. He can take nothing and make something out of it. So, if you ever want to be here, just keep your eyes open, because the door may open up, and poof, you could be here. You know, when this one put out her hand and said, you will not be living in that schoolhouse during the end times, you'll be living closer to the earth than you ever thought possible. And I thought, I got 2 teepees, and that's living pretty close to the earth. And, you know, if I was living any closer to the earth, I'd have to be living inside the earth. A couple of months later, I'm standing in a cob house, living in a cob house, going, earth roof, earth walls, earth floor. I'm living inside the earth, you know. So things can happen. You don't realize they happen until they did, and until after they do happen. You know, I mean, the number of stories of people that have written in about, you know, relocating here to the Ozark Plateau was like, well, I went to sleep in Indiana and woke up in the Ozarks, woke up in Missouri, or woke up in Arkansas, you know. That's how fast it happened, you know, just like, whoof, you know, so it can happen. All right. Just take that as a, don't ever give up. Just say, hey, Father, I'd like to go to Missouri. Can you make that happen for me? And he may say, sure. You want to go tomorrow or next week? You know, so it can happen for anybody. And once you get here, things can change. You know, when I showed up here, we had nothing. You know, now we own 70 acres. My family does. Larger family, 120 acres. But anyway, who's counting? You know. So anyway, that's about it. All right. This is Jerry Diamond. If you're listening to this, you are the remnant, or part of the remnant, or part of the resistance. All right. Bye-bye.